Hiring a head of operations should take you away from running the day-to-day of your business. Your goal as a business owner, managing director, self-employed individual should be to fire yourself from every task and every role in the business. This is my most significant hire in the last 18 years as a business owner. If you're sticking with me to the end of the episode, I'm going to share with you how you can hire a head of ops and when is the right time to take that calculated risk. So let me take you back to the beginning of this year and set a scene for you in relation to where we were at the time that I thought we wanted to go and recruit somebody of a senior management level. Currently, I've got two businesses, both working out of the same office. One business is a mortgage brokerage. I have 4 people in head office, an advisor, an administrator, a customer service person and an accounts person. The rest of that 16-person team are all based externally. My second business is the consulting business, where I've got Kiefer, who's on the other side of this camera, recording and producing all of our content, and Camilla, who handles head of client success, looking after our in excess of 100 clients in that business. Now, in leading both businesses, the responsibility comes to me for looking after the marketing, the sales, the admin, the finances, ensuring that everybody is happy in their roles. I am running as a leader and also as a manager to everybody. The goal of bringing a head of operations into the business is to free me up so I can focus on more income generating activities, higher value activities that are going to bring more and new revenue streams to the business. That involves content, that involves new partnerships, new relationships. That's thinking about the strategic direction of the business and where we should be in the next 12 months, 3 years, 5 years, and potentially even that huge 10-year vision. The goal of the head of ops is to make everything run more smoothly and to ensure that the team are supported. Often as an entrepreneur or business owner, I'm looking upwards and outwards, whereas you need someone that I can deliver the strategy to, who looks inwards and takes care of the business on a day-to-day basis. So fast forward to now, Emma's been with us roughly 2.5, nearly 3 months. And the changes that have been made have been huge. She's done one-to-ones with every single member of our head office team. She's started to create standard operating procedures, as I mentioned, where we've got documentation for how tasks and activities are due to be done. As I've said in many episodes before, it's typically not a people problem that causes you issues in your business. When you delegate something, if there is a process in place and the person is following the process, then the delivery takes place at the highest possible level. The only time that it's a person problem is when they don't follow the process. So starting to document everything and make sure that we have structures in place means that we can begin to grow. Because if you bring in more people, if we get more clients, that's going to cause breakages. That's going to mean that our service standards are going to drop, which I am never willing to sacrifice for a pound. I always want us to be a 10 out of 10 or as near to as possible. And what I really realized at the beginning of this year was not only was my time stretched, my bandwidth stretched, was the age-old saying of what got us to here isn't going to get us to there. And much like my journey of working with coaches or mentors, I've always sought someone who is better, faster, fitter, stronger, more knowledgeable, realistically older when it comes to a business sense, who can teach me the way. I would rather pay for a shortcut and learn from somebody who is where I want to be or has been where I want to go to fast track my journey. That's what you should be looking for if you want to work with a coach or a mentor when it comes to building a better business, when it comes to generating leads, increasing sales, maximizing profits, and all the things that we talk to you about in these episodes. What I am not afraid to do is talk about my problems and my challenges. So going back 5 or 6 months ago, I was telling people how my time was stretched, how I was feeling stressed and frustrated by having to manage and lead 2 businesses, feeling pulled pillar to post with not being able to focus on strategy and direction, not having enough time in my life to create the next layer of business growth and business development. And I was just being honest with people and telling them. And one of the people that I told knew a head of operations that had worked for another company that I have known that are doing £20 million a year, that have grown significantly over the last 5 or 10 years. And she was part of that journey. And they just said you should reach out to her on LinkedIn. So I did. That LinkedIn message led to a couple of emails. It led to us meeting face to face. It led to a couple more conversations, and the rest is history. She joined 2.5, 3 months ago. So often finding that level of employee and individual is going to come through your network. It's not going to come through an online world. Emma as an individual was too expensive for one of my businesses to recruit. You imagine we're 6 people in our head office. We're 20 people in total, and we've just made another hire that's starting in the next couple of weeks. Collectively, if you imagine me at the top, Emma sitting underneath, and then 2 arms off of the side of that for my 2 businesses, then that would be a collective, 7 or 8 people that they're going to be managing in the short term. By creating the time of me not having to focus on the day-to-day activities and day-to-day running of the business means that I can focus on the new brand and the marketing and sales activities before we bring in a salesperson to the consulting side. But it is the most significant salary I have paid out in 18 years. And how do I assess that I can afford that? Which is a question that comes up a lot with my consulting clients, is like, how do you know when to hire, when to recruit? How do you know if you can afford it? Well, the first thing is you need to know your numbers and have a profit and loss and management accounts done every single month on Xero or QuickBooks or something like that. You need to know what your turnover, your admin expenses, your cost of sales are, and what your profit is each and every single month. You also need to be tracking your sales on a weekly basis to know what your predictable revenue is going to be over the course of the next 3 to 6 months. And then you have to assess, by paying out this salary in the next 30 days, because you've got 30 days to get some of that money back, what are the tasks and activities that you're going to use that time to create that extra income? Now, the way I look at it is, can I afford half of that person's monthly salary? If I can, as a business, for the next 3 months, then I know that I can go out and create the other half. And what I did for the month that she started was line up new sales that could be made, new income that could be generated. I knew exactly what I needed to do to offset that expense to increase the revenue to cover it. It hasn't been an easy 2.5 to 3 months. The economy, the world, the scarcity, the fear means that I'm probably working 3 or 5 times harder anyway this year to earn the same amount of money that I did last year and the year before. But when you want to create more time and you want to build a better lifestyle, if you constantly allow your negative thoughts to control your outcomes, then you're always going to be stuck on a hamster wheel going round and round and round. You have to take calculated risks. You have to be willing to invest in your business. You have to be willing to invest in people to create more time so you can then start to focus on the next layer of growth. And our next layer of growth is about generating new leads, refining sales, optimizing our systems, working on our strategy, tracking our finances, and honing our team. And just going on that virtuous cycle is what constantly keeps us going to the next level. Bringing in Emma was the last step of that process of honing our team. Now we go back to the beginning and focus on generating new leads, sales, etc. And that virtuous cycle has served me well every single year over the last 18 years. It's taken me 18 years to develop that growth model and that process for success and for growth. And that's how I'm able to run 2 businesses with 7-figure revenues that make 6-figure profits, that realistically, if I chose to, I could probably only work 1 or 2 days per week at the current time. But of course, we have a bigger vision than that. We're working towards much larger goals, so I am working almost every day. But my focus, my drive, my energy is now on building the brand, creating new partnerships, generating new inquiries, serving our audience and our clients better, and working on the next layer of growth over the course of the next 6 months. So to finish this off, there is a fantastic book that I read ages ago, listen to, I don't read, called Who Not How. And it talks about, rather than trying to figure out how to do everything, how to get to where you want to go, how to create that next task, that next action, that next activity, go and find a who. Someone who has been there before, someone who has done it, someone who can help you get that next step up the ladder. So I would urge you to think about, what is the challenge that you are currently struggling with? What is the how that is your biggest problem? And go and find a who that can help you get to that next level. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Wherever you are listening or watching, please make sure that you hit me up with a comment below. Let me know the who that you are focusing with, or come and reach out to me on Instagram and tell me in my DMs. I have an entirely brand new channel that we are growing, so make sure that you come and follow me over on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.